When the corrupt Judge Harrison Moore sneered at Karoline Leavitt over her necklace, he thought he was making a statement. His smug grin, condescending tone, and the courtroom filled with people watching as he mocked the small cross hanging around her neck. He believed he was in control. "Miss Leavitt," he drawled, adjusting his robe with exaggerated precision. "This is a courtroom, not a church service. Perhaps you should leave your personal beliefs at home if you expect to be taken seriously." The room fell silent. A few quiet chuckles rippled from the defense table, as if they sensed Karoline had no way out. The judge smirked, expecting her to shrink, to apologize, to remove the necklace and move on. But he had no idea who he was dealing with. Karoline didn't flinch. She didn't stammer. She leaned forward, eyes locked onto the judge, and in a calm, unwavering voice she said, "I'll take my necklace off the day you take off that robe and stop pretending to serve justice." A collective gasp filled the courtroom. The judge's smirk disappeared instantly, but that was just the beginning. Because what happened next didn't just flip the courtroom upside down. It ended with the judge in handcuffs. The air inside the courtroom thickened. No one moved. No one spoke. The judge, clearly not expecting to be challenged, leaned back in his chair, his expression darkening. The smug confidence in his eyes flickered as he debated whether to laugh off Karoline's response or crush her with his authority. He chose the latter. "Miss Leavitt," he said, voice dripping with forced patience, "you are here to argue your case, not parade religious symbolism in a court of law. If you can't abide by professional standards, I suggest you rethink your place in this courtroom." A few whispers ran through the crowd. The defense attorney smirked, clearly entertained. But Karoline, she remained still, calm, calculating. This wasn't about professionalism. This was a power play, a trap, an attempt to humiliate her. She let the silence linger just long enough to make the judge uncomfortable before finally speaking. "Your Honor," she said, her tone unwavering, "I find it interesting that my necklace is a problem for you, yet you have allowed other attorneys and plaintiffs to wear religious head coverings, political pins, and cultural symbols without issue." The judge's jaw tightened. He knew she wasn't bluffing, but instead of addressing the hypocrisy, he deflected. "You are straying from the case at hand," he snapped. "Your personal beliefs have no bearing on this courtroom." Karoline tilted her head. "So, just to be clear, if I were wearing a different symbol, one that aligned with your views, you wouldn't have a problem?" The judge hesitated, a flicker of doubt. He realized any answer would expose him. Karoline leaned back, crossing her arms. "That's interesting." She reached into her briefcase and pulled out a thick folder. "Because I happen to have records of previous rulings where you showed clear bias based on a person's beliefs." The courtroom shifted. People straightened in their seats. Even the stenographer paused, glancing up. The air changed. It wasn't just about Karoline's necklace anymore. It was about something bigger. For the first time, the judge looked nervous. A thick silence gripped the room. The judge's fingers twitched. His eyes darted toward the folder Karoline placed on the table, a ticking time bomb in the form of documented proof. "Your Honor," Karoline continued, flipping open the folder, "let's talk about what this is really about." "I don't have time for theatrics, Miss Leavitt," he scoffed. "Oh, I think you do." She tapped her finger on the stack of papers. "Because I have here at least 5 cases where defendants or attorneys wore religious symbols in your courtroom without issue. In fact," she pulled out a highlighted page, "just 3 months ago, you ruled in favor of a plaintiff who refused to remove a headscarf, citing freedom of expression." Murmurs erupted. Even the bailiff shifted uncomfortably. The judge's nostrils flared, but Karoline wasn't finished. "Now, I'm not here to question that ruling. In fact, I fully support the right of anyone to wear symbols of their faith. But what I do question, Your Honor, is why, when it's me, when it's my cross, you suddenly find it inappropriate?" The whispers grew louder. The judge gripped the edge of his bench, his face pale. "You're twisting my words," he snapped. Karoline pulled out another document. "Would you call this twisting words?" She held up an official complaint, filed against the judge for religious discrimination. Gasps filled the room. The judge had been exposed, and everyone knew it. The courtroom buzzed. The defense attorney's smirk vanished. The judge's clerks exchanged panicked glances. Caroline reached into her bag one last time. Your Honor, she said, her voice sharper now, I also have an audio file. Would you like to hear it? The judge's mouth opened, but no words came out. Caroline tapped her phone. The speakers crackled, then played a voice everyone recognized. Make sure that complaint doesn't reach the ethics committee. I don't care what you have to do. Shred it, misplace it, just get rid of it. The courtroom exploded. The judge's face twisted in horror. Two uniformed officers stepped forward. Judge Harrison Moore, one said, you are under arrest for obstruction of justice, judicial misconduct, and conspiracy to suppress evidence. The judge jerked backward, knocking over papers. This is ridiculous. I am the law in this courtroom. Caroline's expression didn't change. Not anymore. The metallic click of handcuffs echoed. The judge, once powerful, untouchable, was led out like a common criminal. Caroline gathered her papers, adjusted the cross around her neck, and walked out victorious. The media firestorm erupted instantly. Headlines blazed. Corrupt judge taken down in shocking courtroom scandal. Karoline Leavitt exposes judicial corruption. Live in court. Judge led away in handcuffs as truth unravels. Cameras flashed as Caroline stepped outside. Reporters swarmed her. She met their gazes, voice clear, steady. Corruption has consequences, she said. And if you think this ends here, you're mistaken. And with that, she walked away. Because this was just the beginning.